Welcome. Well, you're at home with Jim and Joy, and you are an important part of our EWTN family. And we're so delighted that you've welcomed us into your home. We know what a privilege it is to be there, and we're glad. So send us an email with a question or a comment to jimandjoy@ewtn.com. Today we have yet again Carrie, Gress, and Noelle Mering, who are the co-authors of a beautiful book called Theology of Home. You could go to their website, theologyofhome.com. You can get this beautiful book at ewtnrc.com, and I highly recommend it for you. It's a great gift to give to someone also. Maybe newlyweds are out there and they're getting ready to get started to reset the new home. Everyone comes from their families and they're coming together, and what's going to work and what isn't going to work furniture-wise, spiritually, physically, emotionally, and you reset and move forward. And I guess I'm full of that because we were to a wedding this weekend, and we think of that. And then, you know, we have had 4 children that have left our home, and I love going to their homes because you see how they decorate and what's important to them. And they all have religious items up in their home. They have a good part of the things and the ways that we enrich them in their raising. And they set their houses in order. And it's really beautiful to go there and to be blessed by what they've observed in their living with us. And some of them I didn't even know. Like my one son, he was like a decorator. He made his house. I was like, hey, wait a minute. You were in my house all these years. I didn't know you had all this talent. And that is really beautiful to see them move. And our sons are really involved in decorating their homes too. They're a part of that process and remodeling and being busy in the homes.
Yeah, this is a great gift to the church and to the culture. Theology, the study of God and everything in relationship to God, including the home, the various rooms in a home, the architecture of the home, the artwork in the home, what goes on in the home in terms of spirituality, in terms of the teaching, and taking the everyday and connecting it with eternity, as they say. That's what this book is about. That's what their website is about. This is the work that they're doing. And in doing that, they promote a new civilization of life. They say, we're 2 moms and we're authors. We're motivated by the reality that women are the most underappreciated evangelical force in history. Mothers, women, are the most underappreciated evangelical force in history, with names like Cecilia, Lucy, Agnes, Monica, Catherine, Bridget, and Helena. Women have used their natural gifts at relationships to spread the faith to their husbands, to their children, to neighbors, to friends, and those in need. So these women are just doing a great work. They're very evangelistic, and they're set to renew the church and to evangelize the world. Theologyofhome.com. Go to it. We'll be right back. There's plenty more to come. Please don't go away.
Welcome back. You're at home with Jim and Joy, and today we have Carrie, Gress, and Noelle Mering with us. They are co-authors of a beautiful book called Theology of Home. Theologyofhome.com is their website. You can get this beautiful book at ewtnrc.com. Now, ladies, we had you on Wednesday, and we were talking about the role of your lives in making your families beautiful, the domestic church, raising them in beauty around in the home, the spiritual atmosphere that you also create. But speak to our audience about how possible is it to create a beautiful home when you have limited means?
It's a great question. I think the first thing you'd want to do is make a distinction between luxury and real beauty. Whereas the former is focused onto yourself, and real beauty is focused outside of yourself. So either both on the relationships you're building and also on ultimately pointing to God, that the material is pointing to God, whereas luxury tends to stop at matter. I think of that great C.S. Lewis quote where he says, aim for heaven and you get earth thrown in, aim for earth and you don't get either. So, but practically speaking, we talk about order in the book, and that's something that is not a matter of means or money, but everyone can be sort of orderly about their belongings and intentional. And I think when you go into a home, you really sense when there's a lot of care put into it, not in a luxurious or economically lavish way, but just in the way that somebody has put thought and care into how they order their home, and the light, bringing light in, both physically, but also, the illumination of, a home that is imbued with a lot of truth and striving towards that truth, to live it out and to embody it. So I would say order, care, intentionality, comfort, other-centered. These are the things that really bring beauty into a home.
Mm-hmm.
Speak to us as well, Carrie, about the importance of visuals in the home. I know that when our grandchildren come to our home, they immediately go up to family pictures. And they're looking at each one, and they're pointing out each person. They're looking, or if there's somebody missing, they'll say the one who's missing. They'll go into our picture albums and go through the albums of our family members. Artwork, having images of Our Lady and of Jesus or of the saints, and speak to us about the heritage, the Catholic heritage of art or sculptures and so on, the importance of that in the home.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the first thing I would say is that there's been no greater patron of the arts than the Catholic Church. And so it's sort of ironic that we're not talking about this all the time, that we're sort of the first book on this topic, because it's such a key element of what it means to be Catholic. And part of that is exactly what you brought up with your children. They want to know the story of your family. And so seeing visual art in our own homes provides opportunity to really tell the story of Christianity, the lives of the saints, or certainly about Christ and different devotions, certainly Our Lady's life and the role that she plays. And these are not sort of accidental or unimportant things, but these are absolutely vital for us to understand who we are as individuals within a family, but also to understand the bigger picture of the full Christian story, which is so beautiful and compelling.
Yeah. In your book, you have three major sections. You have part one, the essentials, entering, remembering, building. Then part two, you have numerous elements: light, nourishment, safety, order, comfort, hospitality, and then beyond the walls, balance, leaving, and Mary, the homemaker. I want to speak to you about remembering, that one key element that you said, remembering. And I think maybe there was something in there about nourishment too, but this whole idea of, you even talked about the Mass, that remembrance, that the Lord really becomes present to us, that somehow the past, the now, and the future are all there in the Holy Eucharist. And that's what can happen in our home as well. Not necessarily that we're going to do the Holy Eucharist, but that homes and remembering, R-E-membering, I like to do it that way, remembering. Like we said, we have an area where we have all pictures of deceased loved ones. And boy, I tell you, it just evokes the past, sort of brings them to the now, and then we're thinking about our own eternity. We could speak about heaven. Speak to us about remembering in the home.
Oh, I love what you just said about the memories of the ancestors. I think it's so important because it really does, home has a concept, it does have that quality of eternity, because it's an element of nostalgia where we think about our childhood homes or things that we've lost that we don't have anymore, but also this longing for our perfect home, which ultimately bespeaks our desire to be with God in heaven. But I think that with remembering in particular, we're trying to find the eternal in the everyday. That's the tagline or our subtitle of our first book. And I think that having that element of understanding our heritage gives us an understanding that we are pilgrims. We're not just wandering this world aimlessly, but we have a destination. We also have an origin. And so uniting that and keeping that in the forefront of our minds, our homes really can be the place where that idea is embodied, similar to the Mass, as you said.
Yeah, we have a table in our house, and it has pictures of all of our loved ones on it. And one of my grandchildren was looking intently at it, and he came up to me and he said, "Nona, I'm sorry that your mom's not here." and that she's in heaven. And what a teachable moment. And then we were able to say, yeah, and you know, but we're going to heaven. That is our hope. That is our prayer. That's where we're going. And one of them, I was with Isaiah this weekend, and he had said to me, you know, Nona, when I grow up, I want to go to the NBA. And I said, well, Isaiah, that's a great goal. But you know what my goal is for you? Is to get to heaven. And so he looked at me and he goes, well, I want to get to heaven too. So it was such a teachable moment. It's so easy, you know, because the children say the greatest things and they ask you such beautiful questions. Now, we also have an heirloom in Jim's family. That of his parents, and so a wedding picture that hung in his parents' home, and then now that it's in our home, and our children are asking, and who's going to get that when you two die, you know? But talk about how the beauty of the heirlooms and pieces that are almost sacred pieces in that way.
It's become a little awkward in our home because it's like everybody's saying what they want when we die. So we've done such a great job.
Put my name on that table.
It's like really, when you die, can I have that? I mean, so I guess they feel comfortable, but go ahead, heirlooms.
Yeah, that's got to be a little bit awkward having that discussion. Anyway, no, I think heirlooms and these gifts that we have, I know in my family we have got baptismal gowns that are, two of them that are well over years old. And it's sort of the debate, well, which one do we use? Because they're both stunning. But it's those kinds of things that really make a home feel like you have this connection with the past, as well as, you know, offering that to other people. But the other nice aspect of it too is that you don't just rely on the old heirlooms, but you can create new ones yourself. You can create new traditions and bring new memories with those things. We have an aspect of the book that talks about a set of cotton napkins that were a gift at a wedding, and how these napkins, you know, if they could talk, the stories that they would tell of all the dinners, the Christmas dinners, the Thanksgiving dinners, Easter brunches, all of those kinds of things that they have seen. And I think that those are treasures that we obviously want to keep. And you know, even if the napkins don't hold up, that a new family can buy a new set of napkins and have, you know, the memories imprinted on those as well.
Share with us, the book is tremendous. There's so much information there. It's so deep spiritually, yet so practical. And but how do people continue the relationship with you all? Because I think it's, you know, they could read the book, and then they've read the book, and they can learn as much as they can from the book. Where does your website come into this? Are you building community with other people? How can they, you know, turn to you, or what do they get through an ongoing relationship with you all?
We do have a website, theologyofhome.com, and we're very active on it. So what we offer is a curated set of links every day that can be emailed to you if you subscribe for free on our website. And it addresses the faith and spiritual matters, spiritual, you know, something that's edifying for your spiritual life, but then also really the real practical and sort of more fun stuff, like a great recipe to make for dinner, or your new outfit to check out, or how to style your wardrobe, how to decorate your home, maybe some tips on organization, sometimes some news and current affairs. So it's really trying to bridge all that whole mission of the spiritual and the material in a fun and compelling, but also substantive way that gives you some meat too.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Carrie, your thoughts on this, on ongoing relationship with those who may read your book and saying, well,
yeah.
Go ahead.
You know, it's been amazing. We have had an incredible outreach of people. People have just eaten up this book, and it's been so fun to share it with them. But I think part of what's driving it is that Catholic women are really invisible in the culture today. We're not addressed, and even when you're looking at magazines, most of it, and television shows and whatnot, most of it really is focused on, you know, there's going to be something in there that's going to offend our Catholic sensibilities. So I've had women say to me, you know, I opened your book and I was just in tears because I finally saw something that was made just for me. And I think that's a really vital point, that we have to encourage each other, and we have to know that we're not alone. There's actually 35 million Catholic women in the United States. It's almost the population of Canada. And yet we're incredibly underserved, and I think that that's another vital piece. So we have a lot of engagement on Instagram and Facebook, and certainly people that are reading our collection on a daily basis.
I think you made that point earlier. It seems like in some ways the world's doing a better job than the church in getting the word out. And so we need to
Yes.
use all the means that are possible to get the word out about the greatness of the church and its culture. And a lot of times we don't have to pontificate about it. You just show the beauty and what's there. And it's interesting because you mentioned magazines and you mentioned books, which are kind of, out of style now. Everybody's just going to websites to do it. Joy loves magazines. Joy loves books and pages and looking. And that's something that needs to be, reset.
No, we would love to see a magazine of something like Theology of Home, because there's something very compelling to a woman about turning pages and all of these different ideas that are collected in it. And that's what we've tried to do with our daily collection online. But we can only, we can't provide pages with that. So maybe that's kind of a long-term goal for us, is to be able to offer something like that, like Magnolia Journal, but something that's very geared towards Catholicism, because we have so much content between all of our holidays and all of the art and history, and so many great stories to tell.
Well,
Now, are you having another book that's coming out? Tell us about that.
That's right.
We have a second book coming out in September, and it's called Theology of Home 2, and the subtitle is The Spiritual Art of Homemaking. So whereas the first book was really focused on the home, this one still has a lot of home inspiration, but it's also kind of switching the focus to the person running the home. And we believe, that it is for everyone, because everyone lives in a home, whether you have a family, whether you have a career. We even have a part in our first book about how theology of home is for men too, because, men care about home. It's a universal desire. It's not just a female desire.
Right.
It's embedded in all people. So how do we balance that work life with the home life? And so we're so excited about this new book. And it's an underserved topic, as Carrie was saying. And there's so many women who are living this life that needs to be spoken to and spoken about.
Excellent.
Carrie, Noelle, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for the great work that you're doing in renewing the church, building a civilization of life and love, and encouraging women to take their place as evangelists. Women, take your place. What's my place as a woman? Be an evangelist. Be a homemaker. Know your influence upon men and women and boys and girls, and build a new civilization and culture of life. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you.
Well, we're going to take a break at this point. There's plenty more to come. You're an important part of this family. You're always at home with Jim and with Joy. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Well, Father John Paul is with us again today, and I'm so glad. But before we speak with him, we're going to go hear from Greg and Lisa Popchek with tips on how to avoid power struggles with your kids.
Why is it so easy to get sucked into power struggles with our kids? More importantly, how can we avoid them?
Power struggles happen because we really want our kids to agree with our requests and consequences. When they pout or resist or fight back, our emotional brain overwhelms our thinking brain, and one of two things happens.
We either feel guilty and negotiate with our kids until we've completely undermined ourselves, or we become enraged and start yelling and piling on consequences to force the child to realize they aren't going to get anything over on us.
Well, both responses give away our parenting power. If we explain and negotiate, kids become lawyers. No deal is ever good enough. But if we yell and punish, kids either escalate in the moment, or they find passive-aggressive ways to get back at us, forgetting to do things or constantly doing everything halfway.
Instead of playing the power struggle game, be clear about what you're asking up front, have a logical consequence at the ready, and remain calm no matter what.
So let's say you tell your kid to clean his room, but he doesn't hop to. Well, instead of begging or yelling or piling on consequences, simply say, "Son, your room needs to be cleaned to my satisfaction before I'm taking you to practice. You understand, right?"
That's the last thing you need to say about it. Now, hours later, say your kid still hasn't cleaned his room, but then he comes to you and says, "Mom, I'm going to be late for practice." And you say, "That's That's awful. I guess you better get on your room then.
Now, he'll probably whine and beg and fuss, and the whole time, you're being empathetic and understanding and completely unbending. I'm really sorry you won't get to be in the game if you're late for practice. I'll take you as soon as your room is done to my satisfaction. I sure hope you can finish before practice is over.
You don't have to yell or beg. You can be completely compassionate and effective if you let logical consequences, instead of your emotional brain, do the talking.
For more ways to make your parenting life easier, check out Parenting with Grace, the Catholic Parent's Guide to Raising Almost Perfect Kids.
Thank you so much, Greg and Lisa, for your truth and the practical application of the truth to build our homes as they should be built in the Lord. Father, wonderful to see your face. What did you think about the show and the discussion about theology of the home?
It's great. It's a great topic. It's a great book. I went to their website as you were talking. It's a great website. It has a lot of resources, and I encourage people to go to it. And one thing that I think that they should pay particular attention to is just scroll down to the favorite places, and there's a homemaker's litany that Noelle and Carrie composed. It's very beautiful. I would suggest that to women, to mothers especially, to pray that in their home, to pray it with their family. Another thing that you said during the show is how people like to look at pictures. And I always look at your picture when I come here of your family. There's something really beautiful about looking at because I know a lot of them. And I can see the look on their faces. And I remember going to my grandparents' house, and they have since passed on to eternal life. And I would always look at the pictures, always. And I would look at the pictures of myself, but I would want to look at the pictures of them when they were growing up. So I think that that is an important part of the family, and having those kind of enshrined throughout your home, not just religious art and statues, but to have real pictures of your family throughout the ages. You know, the grandparents, even the great-grandparents, if you have those pictures, have those up.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, and part of the problem is, like, we had our son Matt was with us this weekend. We went to the 7:15 Mass. When we came home, he was on the floor with his son Isaiah going through all the photo albums. And he gave me a picture, and he was like, we took a picture on a bike with E.T., and he was like, Mom, where were we? And I was like, Matt, I have no idea, you know, what we were doing. But it just, that connectedness, you know, and when sons come home, I know our sons, we let them be sons. We let them be our sons. You don't have to be a man. You don't have to work. You don't have to generate a salary. Just come here and let us feed you, let us love you, and you just relax here. I love when my sons come home.
Nice.
It's fun. You know, and you get to feed them. Smells are important in a house. We didn't talk so much about the smells in a house, but when I got certain smells going and they know there's a pot of sauce on, they're like,
they get excited.
You know, it's
I
like,
knew that growing up.
Right, or breads and cookies, and you know those smells that evoke and awaken.
Yeah, Mom would make, she had a full-time job as a nurse, but she would make candy and stuff during Christmas and Easter and sell that. And we benefited from it.
Yeah, but you know that's just embedded deep in your soul as a child.
Well, I still can smell it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 44, but I mean, that was a long time ago. Not really. But, but I still remember that. Those images, those smells stick. They stick.
Right.
And that goes to taste and see that the Lord is good, right?
That's right.
Nourishment in the home, the meal, taste and see that the Lord is good, Holy Eucharist, and then eternity. Father, close us out with a blessing.
Family, may the Lord bless you and keep you, and may he turn his face to you and be merciful to you. May he show you his kindness and give you his peace. May Almighty God bless you, the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Go in peace.
So many feelings and thoughts about home, but perhaps one of the greatest ones is Jesus saying, I'm coming back for you. I told you my Father has rooms in his house. I'm coming back for you, so that where I am, you'll be also, and we'll spend eternity together in my Father's house. You're an important part of this family. You're always at home with Jim and with Joy. Keep it on EWTN. Bye now.